It's the NBA trade deadline. Let's break down things that just happened, but also things that are going to happen. And hopefully, we get some stuff that actually makes an impact for fantasy basketball. Michael Bolton, is basketball or me your fantasy?
Thanks, Josh. It's Michael Bolton here, and it's time for another episode of the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it, indeed.
You are Locked On Fantasy, your daily NBA fantasy podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome to the Locked On Fantasy Basketball Podcast, brought to you by Basketball Monster. My name is Josh Lloyd, and my name is also Jeff. I'm also the lead fantasy analyst at basketballmonster.com, and today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. It's the last call for football on FanDuel. If you're a new customer, bet just $5 and get $200 in bonus bets if you win. Thank you also for making Locked On Fantasy Basketball your first listen every day. We are free. We're available on all platforms. We are part of the number one sports podcast network, the Locked On Podcast Network. So thank you again for making us number one. We are here. We are live. We are ready. We are off, ready to go. Yeah, trade deadline. Should we just get into stuff that has happened in the last couple of hours? That would probably be, I don't know, pretty decent place to begin, I would say. So let's just talk about the first trade that went down today. First of all, thank you to everyone who is here, everyone who is in the live chat. If you can thumb the video up, leave your comments, share it around as well. We'll discuss things. First trade that did go through, it was our mates. It was the Chicago Bulls doing something for some reason. Rob Dillingham joins Chicago. Leonard Miller joins Chicago. 4 second-round picks. Who cares? They go to the Bulls, and they send out Ayo and Julian Phillips. Let's talk about the Timberwolves side of things. This is why yesterday when we talked about the big stiffy, the 5-minute man, Bones Highland, and his big production in that game, I said, yeah, maybe just like we settled down a little bit because the Wolves made moves because they were bringing somebody else in. And they did. They brought in Ayo. Now, again, people are going to be having differing and diverging opinions on Dosunmu. I don't think he's that good. I think he is okay as a player, but there are going to be people who suggest that he's automatically going to be starting. He's better than Dante DiVincenzo, and he's not. He's also one of these guys, Dosunmu, who has some really bad advanced stats. Like, they're not good. He is like a negative EPM guy. He's RAPM numbers are horrific, like 16th percentile in real adjusted plus minus. His Darko numbers are bad. Like, he's bad. He's never had positive impact as a player. People love him for whatever reason, but he's always been bad. I think that his situation, Dosunmu, is worse. I thought he had a real chance to be a starter, if not a 29-minute a night player in Chicago with the moves they made, even though there were a lot of guards there. He's going to be a bench guy who probably plays 24 minutes. 23 minutes, maybe it's 27, but he needs 29 plus, I think, to be a clear 12-team guy. I think this worsens his situation. Better team, better teammates around him, less opportunity, less minutes, fewer minutes. So I don't like it. Julian Phillips, doesn't matter. Just gives him depth on the wing behind Jaden McDaniels, but he's not going to play. The thing that's interesting... comments coming. That's what I said about Ty Jerome. Now I missed out. It's not what I said about Ty Jerome. What I said about Ty Jerome is grab him, but I also think that there's going to be 3 other guards returning to the team who aren't there yet. Yeah? They're not there yet. Also, Ty Jerome is not that good. 5 a.m. spicy time. The Bulls. Again, what is this idiot team doing? I still don't understand. So they get a glut of guards. So they trade away a guard to get another guard, a smaller guard. Dillingham was a high pick in a bad draft who's been terrible. The thing is, I actually like Leonard Miller. And here is a little bit for you. Leonard Miller will probably be backup center in Chicago. I would not be surprised if we are talking Leonard Miller, 12-team guy at some point. Either through Sticks getting injured, or Miller, honestly, outplaying him. Now, Miller's done nothing at the NBA level at all to suggest this. And I'm not suggesting to add Leonard Miller. I'm suggesting that he will have an opportunity to play. And out of everything that Chicago has done, that's the one that I'm the most interested in. Who starts now? It's almost certainly going to be Ivy. I would say, like, if you wanted to grab Jaden Ivey, like, he's consistently been bad as well. This season, he's just looked terrible. But there might be opportunities for him. I just don't know which direction the Bulls are going. They've still got Simons there, Sexton. I don't know what any of this stuff is, man. This team continues to confuse, and it is hard for us to look at the Bulls and suggest a bunch of stuff because, they're obviously making a trade every 5 minutes. So that's that one. That's that trade that we talk about, and yeah, I don't know. We'll see. What else? What do you guys people got here? What questions have you guys got for me, or just statements? What do you do with Porzingis, Alex? If you have Porzingis on your team at the moment, what else can you do? Like, you hold and you see if he plays in Golden State because he's an awesome player when he's healthy. I don't know what more you could possibly do. Hold or drop Io, Geordie says. Again, context. You're never just dropping a player. What for? So I can get literal zeros. Who would you add? Again, I believe that this drops Dosunmu's value down. So see who else is available. Do I think Kobe is a drop? I think Kobe White will be a droppable player. Yes. I do think that. LOL, what's this trade AI summary? What on earth are you talking about? What are you talking about? Yeah, the trade AI summary, me, real person talking. That's the AI summary. Are we all right here? Obviously not. All right, let's go to the next trade that did happen. Which one was this one? As I'm trying to catch up on everything. Oh yeah, here we go. The Lakers get the spiral, Luke Kennard. The Hawks get Gabe Vincent and a second round pick. We don't add Luke Kennard. We don't add Gabe Vincent. Gabe Vincent is a backup defensive point guard who used to be able to shoot, but sort of iffy now. Kennard moves into the spot that they would have hoped that Dalton Connect would be able to fill if he was any good at all, which he isn't. Kennard is a three-point streamer for deeper leagues. This is a trade that probably does make the Lakers better, but it doesn't really do much. So I don't really think we need to go on about that trade a huge amount, to be honest. It's a trade that happened, but it's not impacting the majority of you for fantasy leagues. The next one that happened. BDNR, Big Dick Nick Richards, goes to the Bucks, along with Nigel Hayes Davis. Amir Coffey and Cole Anthony go to the Suns. Again, a trade that was tax-based in terms of getting guys under the tax. There's nothing really there with this. Nick Richards is the backup to Miles Turner, and I'm pretty sure all of you will remember that even if Nick Richards starts, we do not care because he is terrible. What it probably does is put a dent in Pete Nance's value, although Pete Nance is better than Nick Richards, but that will be up to Glenn Rivers to decide what he wants to do with that. Hayes Davis, useless. Amir Coffey, a bit washed. Cole Anthony, no opportunity there with a million guards. It's a nothing trade. It's a nothing trade. All right. The last trade there is a Chris Boucher trade to the Jazz, which please do not do anything with Chris Boucher for the absolute love of God. Jose Alvarado goes to the Knicks. Dalen Terry and a couple of seconds go to the Pelicans. There will be people that are tempted to add Jose Alvarado here because the news also came out that Juice McBride is having some surgery and he's probably not back until the real-life playoffs. But I'll ask you this question. Did you like having Juice McBride on a 12-team roster? And your answer is going to be probably not. So why would you like having Jose Alvarado on a 12-team roster? Fido Dodo Shamet is still going to get minutes. Jordan Clarkson is still there. Josh Hart, Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, all that stuff is the same. Jose Alvarado remains a bench player who can be an interesting steal streamer, who might have some marginal 12-team appeal. It is not that interesting. He does not move into a starting role. He moves into Juice McBride's bench role, which you did not want Juice McBride, so you do not want Jose Alvarado. The difference between those players it's basically the same. I don't see anything happening with that one. Just going to look in on other scenarios here. That's where we're at with the trades at the moment. Because I know that, people are going to be asking, well, what about old mate Ja Morant? I like I've said, people have made these arguments to me all the time. And we go back to the Ty Jerome one when someone blamed me for not picking him up. That the Grizzlies have guys coming back like Durant, like Morant, Pippen. Durant was a combination of Morant and Jerome. Pippen, all these guys are there. There's no guarantee that any of these things are never playing again. All right, cool, maybe. But also maybe not. Things change all the time. Giannis. What is happening with Giannis now? What do we do with Antetokounmpo? He's not getting traded. Will he play again for the Bucks this season? I'm going to put it at 50-50, honestly. 50-50 on Giannis playing again this season. I would... Is that a Basquiat piece? Yeah, it is. It is, if you're asking that question. If you're asking the question about... I didn't even know what I was saying. Why am I hearing Edie is returning? You're not. He's not returning anytime soon. So I don't know where you're hearing that. Has there been a clear ad in 9 category leagues? Yeah, Jalen Smith has been the clear ad. People are asking this question, Rip City Step, about Jordan Poole because Jose Alvarado's gone. Sure, but Jose Alvarado was a 20-minute-a-night bench player. And do you want 20-minute-a-night Jordan Poole? No, you don't. Jeremiah Fears is still there. He's coming off the bench alongside Jordan Poole. They could easily just play Dalen Terry, honestly. So I wouldn't be adding him either. I would not be adding Jordan Poole based on this Jose Alvarado trade. Would not be doing it. What are my thoughts on Josh Giddey rest of the season? It's a good question because obviously this team makes no sense. Josh Giddey is currently injured. I am not going to be a panic merchant about shutdowns or anything like that. I think Giddey could have a really strong run in February and March. I also think the Bulls hitching their wagon to make him their best player was insanity in the offseason. It's insanity now, and they'll continue to be insane. This team still has a million weird things happening. Simon, Sexton, Ivy, Dillingham, Miller. I don't know what they're doing. I do think that Giddey's hamstrings are a concern, and it will cause more missed time down the stretch. But we're not doing anything with it. How about Patrick Williams? Patrick Williams, not sure if you're aware of Patrick Williams. He's a player for the Bulls. He's terrible. He will be a bench player, and we don't care. I don't see how that's anything happening. People are very comfortable telling me, oh, shave this, do this to your hair. How about you do one of those? Maybe I'll just live my life. It's a spicy morning. All right, just checking if there's any more news that is coming through. Not really. Yeah. Not really anything else going at this point. All right, we'll just keep going. Just keep talking. GG Jackson's coming close to a must. Yeah, look, Karen, I think that's probably true. I think that in Memphis, you've added Ty Jerome, but I think Santi Aldama and GG Jackson are probably worth adding. It'll be really interesting to see what happens when Taylor Hendricks plays and how he gets used. But yeah, I think adding GG Jackson does make sense at this stage. Okay. Do I think Niang, Anderson, and Hendricks will cut into GG's minutes? I don't think Niang or Anderson will matter at all. Hendricks, maybe, what I just said, but also there's no centers on this team, so Hendricks will have to play center too. So, I mean, a little bit, but you got 48 minutes at the 4 available and 48 minutes at the 5. And I think Hendricks, Aldama, GG will get a lot of those minutes, and they'll be the prioritized one there. Let's see. Anything else going on? Not at the moment. Okay. Is Buzelis a league winner? No. Because dumbest term that exists, league winner. Matas Buzelis was drafted in every single league. Matas Buzelis is rostered in every single league, or should be. Is he a guy that's going to increase his value? Sure. But does it matter that much? Not really. I mean, he's going to be good, obviously. What time is it? Game time. It is 5:15 a.m. 5:15 a.m. Is Cason Wallace added in an 8-team league? Sometimes I get questions come through. And I also think, welcome to the show for the first time, obviously. Look, I've been telling you all season, Cason Wallace is a drop in 12-team leagues. Why on earth would I add him in an 8-team league? But you're welcome. You're new to the show. No, absolutely not. Why isn't Kennard the duck? When did he become the spiral? Oh, Corey. I would just do me a favor, Corey. Just go use the old Google machine and just type in duck spiral and see what comes up. Just enjoy it. Is Miles Turner's a shutdown risk? The risk of shutting down is me shutting down this entire stream of people ask about shutdowns all the time. Stop obsessing about that crap. Like, yeah, guys might sit out. Might happen. Whatever. Don't make any decisions about that. Turner on the move. No, he's not. No, he's not. People love making things up. No, he is not. We're going to come back in a sec. Today's episode. It is brought to you by DoorDash. The season is heating up, and DoorDash, they keep you guys, the fans, in your bag the whole way through. You're watching the highlights. You're paying attention to the important things, the tunnel fits, or my hair, either one. Your favorite players, DoorDash, whatever it is, it makes the season more fun. Every player has their bag, and with DoorDash, you can have one too. DoorDash keeps your snacks stocked. I hate that phrase. Your gear fresh and your watch party vibes absolutely on point. Your team might stress you out. DoorDash could be your post-game therapy. Big bucket of ice cream, smash into your gob. Or, the group chat's coming over. You need to grab some food. You need charger cables. You need petroleum-based products. I don't know what you're up to, but DoorDash can get it all to you. From tip-off to overtime, stay in your bag and order on DoorDash. Get snacks, drinks, and gear. Whatever gets you through the season, delivered right to your door. DoorDash in your bag all season long. Today's episode is also brought to you by Quo. New year, new systems, and it's time that we look at the messier parts of how we run our business. We have to think there's got to be a better way, because there is a better way. And the better way is with Quo, spelled Q-U-O. Upgrading your communications is one of those ways to improve your business in a jiffy. When your team is reachable, when they're organized, and when they're in sync, you're not just working cleaner, you're creating more opportunities to connect with customers, and that's where Quo can help. The whole team can call and text from one shared business number, so nothing gets missed. You see the full conversation thread, makes the replies faster and more personal, working right from your phone or computer, so you can keep your existing number as well. And the smart AI tools on Quo automatically log calls, summarize conversations, and highlight the next steps. It's no surprise that Quo is the number one rated business phone system on G2, trusted by more than 90,000 businesses, from solo operators to growing teams. Make this the year where no opportunity and no customer slips away. Try Quo for free. Plus, get 20% off your first 6 months when you go to quo.com/lockedonnba. That is quo.com/lockedonnba. Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. All right. Hello, everybody. Nine Cat Fluffers love saying league winner. Adam, that's pretty accurate, isn't it? It's almost like the run don't walks. Almost. All right, let's go back and just do a quick news check-in. We've got to be always on top of things. The Memphis Grizzlies are still working on Demetrius Morant trades. Okay. See where that goes. Probably nowhere. But we watch it. We keep an eye on it. All right. Let's have a look. Is Jose... No. Look, is Jose... Again, back to this one. 10, you are in a 10-team points league. Jose Alvarado is not a good points league player. You are in a shallow league. Did you want Juice McBride in your 10-team league? No. Do you want Jose Alvarado? No. You don't. That's it. No. You don't want any of that. What is going on with Booker? He injured his ankle. Where am I in Melbourne? Where am I in Australia? I'm in Melbourne. I'm not in Sydney. Why would I do that? Should you actually Google Duck Spiral? Is it like when you told us to Google Evan Fournier? That's very similar. It's quite similar. I saw someone say, is Nick Claxton a drop? What are we doing? No. Is Kobe White a drop? Maybe. I'd like to probably see what happens, but I honestly can't see how he maintains value. I really do not see how that happens. We'll get back. Just look to see if anything's going down. There is nothing going down at the moment. Ty Jerome league winner. Oh, yeah, sure, absolutely. No, he's going to be a 70% true shooting guy on 35% usage with double his career assist rate. 100% happening. League winner. Will the Hawks' new players affect Alexander Walker in any way? Not really, no. I mean, Kuminga's going to have usage, sure. Porzingis would have had usage, so cool. Buddy Hield not going to play that much. Wouldn't worry about it. What do I think about locked-in sleeper dice leagues? Thanks. Speaking of getting in your bag, Sleeper sucks. The worst platform you can play on. These clowns think they know everything. Not only are they got a ridiculous social media team, they think they know what they're doing. They cut off I could be promoting Sleeper, but they refuse to do anything that makes sense. They give you no optionality. Oh, let's have our lock-in mode. Now, how about Get Lost? How about you give us a mode that's actually good? How about you give us a mode that enables us to have it, include it. Use it as your point of difference. But don't make it the only system you've got. Don't try to make the NBA the NFL. It's not the NFL. So, do I like Sleeper? No. Sleeper can go and get, it's terrible. It's a bad platform with a bad format and no flexibility with a bunch of arrogance built in. Okay. Where's the timer countdown? It's on your watch, bro. Sorry I didn't have one. Will Cater be worth it in 12 teams rest of the season? I think unlikely. Honestly, for many of you, he was borderline anyway. I thought he was must roster, but many people didn't. But I thought he was must roster earlier on, but I cannot see him maintaining while Vooch arrives. Is Vooch good? You know my opinion. But it would be foolish of me to suggest that Cater doesn't lose 2 to 3 minutes at the very least. At the very least. No, Sleeper does suck, Gabriel. In fact, it is terrible. It's really bad. It's really bad. Oh, but I actually really like the format. I actually like the display. The fact of the matter that they don't give you the option to adjust things. You can't play category leagues. You can't play normal points leagues. Their default scoring includes ejections and technical fouls, for sake. What? Let's go through any more news that's coming. Nope. I will remind you guys all the time on this, is that usually at the trade deadline, we hope that something interesting happens with a bunch of good players appearing, but usually what happens is that players that you had on your team just lose value. That's usually the main thing that happens. Kobe White, probably going to be a drop. Yep, he's going to lose value. Jalen Smith will gain it. But, yeah. I saw a Lachlan Ulbrich question, but that's skipped through. I wasn't able to get to that. Is Vukcevic a good ad? He is still a backup center for the Wizards on a 2-way contract. So, not really. You have to be in a pretty deep league, and I think he'll have value, but at this point, no. Is Olivier Maxence Prosper worth picking up in Dynasty with the Jaren Jackson trade? He's on a 2-way contract as well. He's not going to play a huge amount, and then when they get Hendricks in there, he's going to be limited in a role. Is he a good Dynasty player? I don't think so. Not really, no. He's okay. What about D'Angelo Russell? I don't think he really plays at all, honestly. I think he's also very much washed. I don't think he's going to be out there at all. Will Obi be making an appearance? Obi is 100% in bed. Although I got up at 4 this morning to get ready for this and get myself ready. And he was like, oh, we're starting our day, are we? It's like, yeah, we sort of are, bro. But you're going to go back to bed. And he's back in bed with my missus. Someone said, where's my watch? It's right there. Here's my watch. Is Giannis a drop now? Absolutely not. What? Why? No. You are talking about a top 5 player. And you're going to drop him based on literally what? That he's not getting traded? That he might not play? But you don't know that. You've got an injured reserve slots for reasons. If you hear that Giannis will not play again this season, then yes, you drop him. Why you would do that now is insane decision making. Do not do that. And I'm going to be harsh on some of these questions that people ask because sometimes you need to be slapped around the face a bit. That is an insane thing to do. What are my thoughts on Gui Santos? He is Brazilian. But also, these questions are just flying through here. I think Gui might be useful. In a 14-team league, yes. But yeah, not much more than that. Is Marvin Bagley an ad? I don't think so. He's still a backup. There are 4 centers in Dallas. He will be streamable, but he's also not good. He is, in fact, bad. If Bagley plays 27 minutes a night, he will work his way into field goal percentage, points, and rebounds. But he is bad. Bad. He is not good. I saw another interesting question. Oh, yeah, here it is. Is Trayce Jackson-Davis a good pickup since he's replacing Poeltl? He is not replacing Poeltl. Guys, why? We don't need to invent scenarios. He is a 3rd-string backup center who will be a 4th-string backup center when Poeltl is healthy. He is also, get ready for it, bad. He is an undersized, non-shooting big man. who will not play ahead of Colin Murray-Boyles or Mamakalishvili or Pirtle. And Pirtle is also not ruled out for the season. There's no way this show isn't producing half the levels of stress. It's really not, guys. I'm not sure if... Okay, do you want to know for a little insight into things? This is a show. It's a show. This is a character. It's not really a character because this is my personality, but do you actually think that I don't do things slightly differently when I'm on camera? Do you think that I get actually that bothered by people in that way? It's a show. I hope that it's a performance that is entertaining, and what I say, I mean, but this is a show. I don't take it personally. It's for fun, for entertainment. And sometimes slapping dorks in the head is fun and entertaining. Did I lose weight? Yeah, about 25 kilos. Yeah. Is Drew Timmy? No. There you go. What will happen to Sabonis if he stays? He'll still probably continue to be completely overrated. But what I do think is the worry in Sacramento is that what we saw yesterday is Delta Doug just spreading minutes all over the place as they do these weird tanks and games in, games out. Very similar to how Toronto did things last season and even Washington and Brooklyn. So, Sabonis was someone that I was very hardly against. I faded hard. I faded Levine hard. I faded DeRozan hard. I didn't think it'd be this bad, but I'd be very worried about what they're going to do with all this stuff. Honestly, very worried. This is not a show. No, it's not. It's just you and me talking one-on-one. No screens, nothing. I was super disappointed not my character. I am incredibly quiet as a real-life person. I still talk this way. More swear words. I do way more swear words in real life. Way more. Every second, third word. But I'm not like a robust person who is the life of a conversation or takes over. I'm not that at all. Not even close to it. You have to, when you are doing things on camera, you have to ramp it up to make it entertaining. And hey, if you're going to put bullshit comments in the chat, oh, Ja Morant to the Heat confirmed. It's confirmed that you're a dickhead. I've just confirmed that. Sources say. Yeah, Norm, that's my worry with Delta Doug and the Kings is that they're just going to randomly, and it's going to get worse with Clifford and Carter and all these random guys. Sabonis did have a back issue. Yeah, I'm sure. He's had lots of back issues. But it's not just him, it's everybody, right? Like the whole team is going to be a problem like that. Did I talk about Nurkic? No, has Nurkic been traded, has he? No, I haven't. It's the same stuff with Nurkic, and it's going to get worse. At the moment, I think you hold, but it's really a tough spot to be in because we just don't know when he is going to play or if. But he will not play every game. That is guaranteed, obviously. Obviously. All right. Do I think Porzingis is actually sick? Yes. All the Hawks are trying to train. Yes, he is actually sick. He has a medical condition that he's had for multiple years. There's no reason to think differently on that at all. Sometimes I see a question and I can't get to it because it's just going through the chat too quickly. Someone said, what's my source on my Maison Kitsune shirts? Bought it off, I think, I either bought it off Essence or I bought it when I was in France a couple of years ago. At, I think, the Maison Kitsune store. I think. I can't remember exactly. Who is my NBA GOAT? H Media says. I'm too scared to answer this because apparently in one of the shows the other day I said LeBron was the GOAT and someone said I unsubscribed and put a thumbs down. Bro, it is not that serious. I find, and I wanted to highlight that just because, like, why would you unsubscribe about that? Because you're a gigantic softcock. Like, it's not that important. It doesn't actually matter at all. It doesn't matter. Is AO worth a pickup? No. AO's situation is worse now. It's worse than what it was in Chicago, I believe. I couldn't find that question. Will Lonzo's production improve? Lonzo Ball plays for literally nobody. So, no, he doesn't. He was terrible this season, and he literally plays for nobody. Just checking if there's any more news that is coming up. There is not, so we might use that as an opportunity for me to tell you that today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. It's the last call for football on FanDuel. It's final Sunday, one last kickoff. The final chance of getting on the action before the NFL season officially comes to a close. It's Super Bowl 60. And FanDuel is making sure that you're right in the middle of it with a special offer just in time for the biggest game of the year. You might be backing the favorite, the underdog, putting together a same-game parlay for the final time this season, whatever it is. FanDuel is there, and this is the game that everyone's been waiting for. Your predictions turn into plays, the stats into storylines, and every snap feels bigger because it is bigger. That's what happens with the Super Bowl. And this is the perfect way to cap off the season and make the Super Bowl even more exciting from kickoff to the final whistle. If you're a new customer, you bet just $5 and you get $200 in bonus bets if you win. Make it count because after the Super Bowl, the season's over. It's the last call for football on FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of Super Bowl 60. Go to FanDuel.com to get started and don't forget to gamble responsibly. Okay. LeBron over MJ is crazy. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's crazy. It doesn't matter. Fuck's sake. Doesn't matter. All right. I saw someone being a dickhead in the chat, so it is time for me to remove them. Let's have a look. Will I be able to create more sound bites? Yeah, I will. I just have to do them. It just takes a while to do them and think about which ones I'm going to do. Interesting. What Will Riley, is he going to have legit value rest of the season? I think he'll have value at some point. I don't know when that'll be, but at some point, yes. Okay. Yeah, that's the Will Riley question. Just trying to find it. What do I think Hero's value is? I think he's a top 60 player minimum, but I just need him to play, man. That's what we just don't know, obviously. Yeah, I do easy elite about Utah in a weird space of not going super tank mode because they're in this weird spot where they're like, the teams below them are 3 games below them. The teams behind them are 3 games behind them. They've got this huge buffer. So they can afford to be very selective with what they do. Some games they'll sit guys, some games they won't. I don't think it's going to be just a hard, fast blanket. Everyone sits all the time. And that's going to make it even more frustrating for us. Is Alvarado's value increased in New York? I would say overall, yes. Because there were nights that he played 20 minutes in New Orleans. I think he plays 26 most nights in New York. So that does increase his value. Is Jose Alvarado good enough as a 26 to 28 minute a night player to be a 12-team guy for most fantasy formats? Not really. But he will elevate into being a very consistent Chris Dunn sort of stream level guy, would be my guess. Is Jalen Smith a 10-team hold? Yeah, look, absolutely. Why wouldn't you? I see no reason why that wouldn't be the case. Rockets injury report. Okay. I don't know what that question is. Are you asking about today's injury report for the Rockets? Tari Eason's questionable? What are we talking about? Yeah, I don't really know what that means. What's my favorite Winter Olympic sport? I don't know. I don't really mess with the Winter Olympics like that. I don't know. I probably won't watch much of it, to be honest. I don't really mess with it. Yeah, is J.G. Jackson must roster? We've talked about him a little bit already. I think he's close to it. I think he's worth having a crack at. How much value would Kuminga provide? Look, honestly, not really sure. I'm not super confident in him. Look, he's not going to start over Jalen Johnson. Kuminga's best position is at the 4, so he's not starting over Jalen Johnson. Will he start over Le Crayon? Zachary Rissochet?
Le Crayon.
Debatable. You could take a flyer on Kuminga, but he does need high usage and high minutes to really make an impact, and I'm not certain you get that. Is Iota starting point guard in Minnesota? No, I don't think so. Again, I will remind you, Iota Sumu is a negative impact player. Has been a negative impact player his entire career. He's not that good. He will play 24-ish, 26 minutes or whatever off the bench. He's not that good. Will I come to Greece for my vacation? Not this year, but at some point, yes. Latest sneakers I got. Kobe 8 Year of the Horse, which are arriving today, I believe. Is Mamu a hold? Yeah, I think you have to hold him at this point, yeah. Yeah, have to hold him at this point. Someone said, do I prefer money leagues or cash leagues? Yeah. Oh, sorry, money leagues or free leagues? Money leagues always? Okay. Wait, we got soundbites back? Not really. Just there's some that I created myself. The ones that I've created myself, we do. Did I make them with AI? Yeah, I did. I did. What are my odds that Peyton Watson stays on the Nuggets after this season? The only thing that's stopping them really is them paying extra tax money. I would say it's over 50%, but hopefully they keep him because he's good. Someone said, is he a drop? What did I miss? I know he got hurt, but can you wait for something? A diagnosis? You're talking about a top 40 player here. Why are you so keen to make these decisions? It just makes no sense. Someone asked about World Baseball Classic. I am excited for World Baseball Classic, actually. Should we stash Cam Johnson? Cam Johnson was bad to begin the season, but given the Watson injury, the Gordon injury, I don't mind that. But he was bad. Is Derek Queen a drop? No, I don't think so. He's bad, but no, you don't drop him at this point. Is Justin Champagnie a hold? It doesn't look good at the moment. So it would depend on what else you're doing. I can see why you would. I can also see why you wouldn't. I don't think that it's a necessity or a must. We had a couple of blokes get waived today, by the way. Haywood Highsmith was one of them. Not a particularly large surprise. He hasn't played all season. We also had Dwight Reith waived by the Hawks. I think somebody else may have got waived today too. They're the two that I can think of. There's so much going on in this chat, bro. Is it Tristan Vukcevic time? He is a backup center on a two-way contract. Is it Vukcevic time? Not really. He will get converted, I'm pretty sure. He is a solid, very good per minute player in a backup role behind Ivicza. I think that he's useful enough to consider, but we don't need to get excited about that. Moses Moody or Guy Santos? I'm not a big Moody guy. From a fantasy perspective, I probably, honestly, would take a flyer on Santos. Who's my World Cup team? Well, Australia. Australia. Thoughts on Kobe White? Plays for the Hornets now. Originally went to school in Carolina. There you go. I'm just going... seeing if there's anything else happening. Absolute radio silence for the last 1 hour, 20 minutes here. Superman a drop in 12-team categories. I would almost certainly, yes. Almost certainly, yes. The only way that it's happening for Ware at the moment is Bam getting injured. I don't think he's getting traded. You just want to wait an hour or so, but you're not getting traded. Yeah, I don't see how it's going to work. Someone asked me if Chris Boucher is an ad. No. Boucher is old. He is washed. He will get backup minutes. I'm not bothered with that at all. Am I excited for AFL State of Origin? Couldn't be less excited for it. It's a stupid concept that doesn't need to be brought back, but people needed to jerk themselves off over nostalgia for something that existed 30 years ago. And that was when I was a kid growing up and I watched it. It's pointless. What are my thoughts on the Bulls front office? How long you got, my guy? Terrible. Bottom 3 in the league. I have no idea what they're doing. No concept of the value of their players or anything in the league. Absolutely dreadful. Shams is no Woj. Do you want him to invent a trade? He cannot make teams trade. Shams is not... The trades aren't happening because... they're not happening because Shams is not reporting them. They're just not happening because they're not happening. Where am I going for Valentine's? We're going into the city because it's an all-star break for us, so that's great. So I've got a couple of days off. We're just going to the city. Is Trey Johnson a drop in a 200-player points league? No way. No way. No way. Not in a league like that. Stash Jar, assuming he gets shipped. Don't assume he gets shipped at all. But should you stash him? Yes. He's a player who's good, and he should be on a roster. We're adding Ivy or McCain. I would rather add Ivy. You're talking about Jared McCain. on a team that has Shea, Jalen, AJ, Kaysen, Dort, Caruso, Wiggins. It's a lot of teams with draft pick motivation driving their tank strategy. Do I think anyone gets squeezed out and accidentally wins too many games? A lot of them are going to have to, because you have to win games. I don't know. That's a hard question to sort of answer that way. What was that question? So someone said, you should keep saying don't add. I don't know. Could Trey Jones be prioritized out of all the guards in Chicago once he's back? Maybe. But not over Ivy, I wouldn't have thought. And then there's still Simons there and Sexton. So maybe, but yeah. But yeah, I'm not going to prioritize him. Is Gershon Yabusele a league winner? Only if your league's stupid. What? Is Bane's value dropping? I believe that Bane's value will drop when Franz Wagner returns, yes. Does SAR's fantasy value reduce playing next to AD and TY? I never heard Trae Young referred to as TY. I mean, theoretically, but that's not going to happen because he's not playing with those guys. Those guys are not going to play hardly at all. And the only reason it drops is because usage falls down, which it will. So yeah, but it's not a problem you're going to have to work about this season. It's not going to be an issue. Is Gay the primary backup on Atlanta? No, I think it's going to be Landau probably. Mo Gay is very skinny. So McCain isn't starting. McCain has no shot of starting on a healthy team. None. I don't know who you think Jared McCain is. He's got no shot of starting on this team. He's not starting over Dort, Hartenstein, Williams, Holmgren, Shea. He's not starting over them. Not happening. In case you're wondering, Ochai Agbaji won't make his Nets debut on Thursday. Damn. It's a shame. It's a problem. Yeah, real problem. What are my thoughts on Coward? Would I add him? These questions are just absolutely pumping through here. I don't even know what the question was. Sorry. Maybe. I don't remember what it was. Okay. I agree with Shams that Josh Lloyd is a cutie patootie. Good call, Shams. Do I think J-Dub is close to returning? Yes, I do. I believe he's back in the next game or two. Someone said notice me. I'm noticing you, but I sometimes just can't find the question. Is Will Riley an add in a 14-team league? I like this question. Yeah, I think he is. I think you have to add him in that sort of a thing, yeah. Here's one. What does Usman Jeng's role project to be in Chicago? Obviously, making a projection with the Bulls is like aiming piss down a straw. Well, that's a great analogy. I love that. What are my thoughts? I think Jeng will be in that mix. I thought he would have been an interesting backup center option for them, but I think Leonard Miller will get a crack there. He'll be in that mix as a backup behind Bozzalas, but there's still Patrick Williams there. So look, does he just take the Julian Phillips role? I would find it difficult to believe that Jeng is an add outside of in nearly any format outside like a 20-teamer, but at least there is a chance for regular rotation minutes here. There's a chance of that. Am I wearing an Aura ring? It is, but it's like my missus was just in China and she bought me one. It's a Chinese brand version to see how it is. She's got an Aura ring. She got herself one, not me. She got me the cheaper one. No, I'm not salty. I'm not. I told her to get this one just to see if because I just don't like wearing rings. I want to see if it would feel okay. It feels all right, so maybe I'll upgrade it to an Aura. Is Bozzalas a must roster? Welcome to What Are You Talking About? Yeah, of course he is. Do I think Shams' hair is sustainable rest of the season? Probably. How do you submit questions? Somebody literally... How do you submit questions? You just did. You just did. What is happening with Franz Wagner? It's a really good question. I'm pretty sure he rushed back so he could play a game in Germany, and the ankle was not healed, and it is now not good. That's my guess. I do not know when he'll be back. I would guess after the All-Star break at the very least, at the worst case scenario, but that's about it. Is Onyeka's ceiling higher now? I would say his floor is higher. I'd say I thought that once all this Porzingis illness stuff cropped back up again, that Okongwu was just going to start, play 33 minutes and be good. But now the floor value for him rises significantly. Like he's got no shot of losing minutes in any scenario here. Okay. Well, since we've been live, not a single trade has happened, which is great. Just making a comment on Basketball Monster for a sec. Amari Williams has agreed to a 2-year deal, so he's been upgraded from a 2-way contract. If those of you care about that, it's not going to matter that much. What's going on with Josh Giddey? He re-injured his hamstring. Shocking, I know, but he re-injured his hamstring. Can I speak some Chinese? Ni hao. Ni hao ma? How many rostered players do I consider 12-team league? Like, it's 156 is the standard, so that's what I consider, plus, ILs on top of that. Jaime Jaquez, Ace Bailey, or Kelly Oubre. And these guys are all sitting on your waiver wire, then it doesn't matter. And the reason it doesn't matter is because they're all just available. So that means you can cycle them through. And the value you get from using, if this is your worst roster spot, the value you get by using that, and then, hey, Kelly Oubre's got a back-to-back, let's add him and I'll drop him. And then there will be Ace Bailey that comes in, or there's Jaime Jaquez that comes in. If the quality of the players are sitting on your waiver wire like that, then that is going to be a continual supply of players of that quality. So don't worry about it. It's your worst roster spot. You stream it in. You use that roster spot to get 7 games per week. So again, if you wanted Oubre in there, you go, I got Oubre, not Bailey. Haha, look at me, killing it. But the fact is you could turn that roster spot into, instead of 3.8 games per week, into 7 games per week. And it's way better. It's way better. That's double the value. So when you're making a decision like that, and this is, sometimes someone will ask me a question, hey, do I have Jared McCain or do I have Giannis? And I'll go, apologies for the brain damage. But that's an obvious one. But when you're making these decisions about these guys who you're going, like, it's really close, I don't really know. The answer is, it doesn't matter. Because you've got more value by cycling through. Cycle through. Way more value. I've seen you ask this question 45 times. I do not think so. I don't think so. The audio is busted. I can't hear you. I'm pretty sure you're the only person who said that. No audio issues. Okay, maybe you're not. Someone else is saying, I don't know what that is because it is all working on my end. Audio is definitely working on my end. I can see the levels going up. Yeah, exactly. This is a YouTube issue. It's not me. It's definitely working. Just click out, come back in. Because there's definitely no audio issues on my end. My mic is working fine, guys. I'm going to just type in here. Mic is fine. It is a YouTube issue. Refresh video. All right, yeah. I can't do anything with that, guys. Is Keon Ellis worth keeping, a la case on Steel Specialist in 20-team, 280-player league? Yeah, in that league, yeah, I think so, yes. Any good streams for the weekend because of inactive traded players? Let's wait until the trade deadline is over before we figure that out, but there will be. Yeah, we just don't know yet. What do we think of Dyson at this point? I don't know why you capitalize that. Maybe you're a big fan of the vacuum brand. I'm concerned with him playing only 24 minutes last game. Don't worry about it. A single game of Dyson Daniels playing 24 minutes, do not worry about it. This is an 82-game season in the NBA. You have random things pop up at any point. Do not concern yourself with that. Do I believe Dyson Daniels has got many more levels to go from here? Not really, no. Do I think the shooting's a real concern and teams would be worried about that in the long term? Yes. But don't be concerned about an off single outlier game of 24 minutes. Do not worry about that. Does DiVincenzo lose value? It is possible I don't think he loses his starting spot, but it is possible that he does lose that starting spot. Now, it would be silly because he's a better player than what I'd assume he is, but he possibly loses a few minutes. Although their starting lineup, the Timberwolves, is bloody good. They needed bench reinforcement versus replacing someone like that. So I'm not that worried about it. What about thoughts on Kyrie's return? Next season is when I think he returns. So I wouldn't have stashed him. I wouldn't have drafted him. I wouldn't have done any of that. Same as I wouldn't have done it with DeJounte. Same as I wouldn't have done it with Tatum. And nothing has changed in that situation. Do I suspect that all currently injured players come back after the All-Star break? Yeah, that is usually what happens, yes. Yeah, it's just a nice little time for them to reset. Saw someone saying that it's a boring deadline. I honestly, I do this show. I love it. I don't really, I don't know. Sometimes I just feel a little bit weird about the way that we fluff up trade deadlines, and that's the most exciting thing that we have. I don't know. It just doesn't, there's something about it that's a bit weird. I don't need it to be an exciting deadline. I don't need moves. Sometimes I look at trades and I go, did these guys just do that for the sake of doing it? Happens in fantasy leagues, but sometimes I look at the NBA guys. I go, did you need to do that? Did you actually need to make that trade? Did you just do it because you wanted to? Sometimes I feel like that happens, and I feel like we clamor for this stuff. I don't know. I just don't get it. Oh, here we go. Here's a question. Do I think what is the new situation for Patrick Williams? Could be a starter rest of the season. Why would he be a starter? Over who? Who is he starting over? Bazalis, Smith. This guy sucks, bro. What? Who is he starting over? People keep wanting me to speak Chinese. Xie for asking me the question. Xie. La shi Lloyd. That's my Chinese, man. 我说大利亚人. Haven't spoken Mandarin in a long time. Can I elaborate on when Neesmith is a hold? Brutal field goal percentage. Has it though? Has he had brutal field goal percentage? Because he has. But what about the last 2 weeks? He shot poorly for a long period of time, right? Barely in accounting stats. I'm going to bring that up because I want to have a look. Because, here we go. Hunter Tyson to the Nets. Nuggets create an open roster spot for the buyout market. Not for the buyout market, bro. It's convert Spencer Jones. But they needed that to get under the luxury tax. The least consequential trade I've ever seen. Hunter Tyson is bad and means nothing, but at least gets me to try out to see whether it is possible for me to actually create these graphics on the fly. So there you go. Hunter Tyson, Brooklyn Nets. It is happening. Let's see. Hunter Tyson and a second for a second. All right, so it's literally a cap, a tax-based move. And that is all it is. All right, let's see how this goes. Hopefully it doesn't screw up the stream as I create the graphic as we go. Wow, I love seeing some local teams get shady about things. About the trade packages. There's a Warriors radio station that's the Warriors traded a 23-year-old Jonathan Kuminga for a 30-year-old Kristaps Porzingis who hasn't played since January and hasn't played 60 games in the last 7 years. Yeah, but he's also 30 times better as a player. And Kuminga didn't want to be there. The team hated him. He doesn't fit the system. They're acting oh, what a travesty trade. Yeah, Porzingis is way better. What are you talking about? But he's 23 and he's here. No, he's bad. No, he's not good at all. All right, now that graphic happened. I created it. I haven't gone off the air. Chat, are we back? Are we actually back, chat? Let's find out. Because Hunter Tyson, in the big news of the day, has been traded to the Brooklyn Nets. He will have some moments where he looks like you go, do we add him? And you might for a short period of time, but otherwise not really. Just going, does the JK trade ruin the Gay experience? Well, come on. I don't think that can be ruined, can it? But, sort of, Gay was playing a lot of center. He'll play backup 4, which he won't get to do now. So, and Landale arriving, yes. The trades, as a general rule, yes, cause problem. So Spencer Jones will be signed now because he was out of games. Hang on, did something... Ooh, the Celtics are trading Minot to the Nets. Now that is interesting. He won't start over Clowney. Danny Wolf is there. I wouldn't rush to add him because there still isn't a clear... There's not a clear spot there because there's still Clowney, there's still Podcast, there's still Danny Wolf. But it is interesting. He might get 20 minutes, which might be enough. Yeah, that's interesting. Why not to Brooklyn? Yeah. That's it. Yeah, I'd like to see what else they do. So we've got an hour left. If they gave him 25 a night, must add. But at this point, I don't think so. But we watch that one really closely because there's clear potential there. What do we do in Nurkic? You have to hold him for now until we get something more definitive. What else can you do? They have a million wings, not a game changer. He's not a wing, he's a power forward. And they don't... Who do they have who are the Nets' million wings? Name them. Who are their wings? There's no one that's good. I said the problem there is Wolf and Clowney. And I don't think we need to do anything with Minor at this point. But that no one looks at the Nets and go, man, they just got too many guys, too many good players. They don't. They do not. Hendricks does have a shot in Memphis at value. I believe he does. He could be their starting center. He could be their starting 4 instead of GG, or he plays both positions 25 a night. Of course, if Edie returns, which I don't think he will, but if he does, Brandon Clark, it all impacts it. But yeah, he's an interesting one to look at. Eric Gordon is going to the Grizzlies. This gives the Sixers flexibility to complete the conversion of Don Barlow. They already had that, Shams. They traded away Jared McCain. What are we doing? So that's a couple of trades that have happened that are definitely trades. What is Minot traded for? Does anybody know? The hell was that noise? Yeah, there was just a noise in the background here. We have no idea what Minot is traded for, do we? I'm just going to create a graphic for it anyway, because why not? And then we can do the next one as I try and self-produce this show. Because no one wants to help me out. Oh, poor me. Eric Gordon. All right. These are little moves around the edges, clearly, that aren't going to do a huge amount. I'm just waiting to see if there's any more information. Again, we're getting like partial information on these trades, which is a little frustrating. Eric Gordon, absolutely not. I've never seen anyone more washed in my life. Absolutely done and dusted he is. But let's put up what I know about this trade. And I'll sort out the next one as well, which again, I don't have information on. And if anything more comes through, I will find out and let you know. Because it's probably just cash or second rounders or protected picks. There's a whole, nothing exciting because these are just like cap and roster construction based moves. The Celtics are now one move away from getting out of the luxury tax entirely. In the preseason, I talked about the Celtics and I was worried about how if they were going to compete or what they were going to do, right? And one of the aims that they had during this offseason was getting out of the luxury tax because they weren't competing. That's why they made a lot of their trades, right? I think they looked to be better than what we thought they would be. But they're obviously still focusing on getting out of the luxury tax, which makes me think again, makes me think again they're not going to be as good as what maybe people think they are. Just going through this. I wish I was Josh's keyboard. I would treat you a lot harsher than I treat this keyboard. I'm very soft and gentle with this. I would be banging you out with these fingers a lot harder than that. Is Grimes an ad now? What? Why? You know what? To be fair, I think Quentin Grimes will take all of Eric Gordon's minutes. So Grimes will get every one of Eric Gordon's minutes he's been playing. For the record, that's 0, but he will get all of Gordon's minutes. Grimes, with McCain gone, which is about 10 minutes, Grimes will get a couple of extra of those. I still don't think that makes him a must, though. It makes him more valuable, but that's about it. Is this the end of Clowney? Clowney was ended already. So, Clowney was done already, so my not arriving makes it a little more cloudy, but I don't think you needed to hold him anyway. Is PJ Washington a drop? I don't think so, no. Why would you drop him? Because he's got a concussion? I've seen one of the worst tweets of all time. It's not even that bad. Here it is. It's from NY Post Lewis. So it's from the New York Post already. In a case of irony, Celtics forward Josh Minott took a picture with a Nets employee and accomplished actor Forrest Weber. Where's that trade? Forrest Weber after a Brooklyn game this season. Now, the Nets have just traded for the 23-year-old. This is what Rupert Murdoch died for. What is this? The worst trade I've ever seen. The Sixers are getting the rights to Justinian Jessup. Let's go. Okay. The Nets have acquired Josh Minott with the Celtics. No other players or draft picks in the deal. Also not true, Eric, because something has to happen in that trade. Spencer Jones has been converted. So now he can play. He's got to deal with his concussion now. So he's back, ready to go. The guys, people love to I've seen questions like, does someone get a boost with Minott on? Minott was playing again, 0 minutes. He played his first rotation minutes in 6 weeks yesterday. He wasn't playing at all. So there's nothing that's super exciting about that, obviously. Is Huff a drop? I don't think so. It would depend on who we're adding. Is there a way to turn Jalen Green into a trade for top 100? I wouldn't have thought. He doesn't play it. Who is giving you something up for him? So I don't think so. Brown is an ad. Christian Brown, is he? He needs to find his groove faster, so he's not an ad then. Like, he's bad. I guess given the injury to Watson, maybe. But, like, he's not good, Christian Brown. He will have increased a role for sure, but Johnson is going to be back and Jones is going to play. So I'm not prioritizing him, honestly. Is Chris Boucher an ad with my night gone? Chris Boucher plays for Utah now. So, again, guys, I beg you, not to keep up with the fact that Chris Boucher plays for the Jazz, but Josh Minott played 0 minutes a game. So nothing changes. Literally nothing changes. He was playing 0 minutes. And Boucher is washed as anything. How long until trade deadline? 53 minutes. Minott is not an ad at this stage. Is Dosunmu losing value? Yes, I believe he is. Assuming the Raptors make no other moves, what do I think of Christian? Colin Murray Boyles' value rest of the season. Colin Murray Boyles' value depends on Jakob Poeltl's health. Simple as that. If Poeltl is back, Murray Boyles will lose value and will not be rosterable. If Poeltl does not return, Murray Boyles will remain a 12-team guy. That's really what happens. Do you add Ivy for Jordan Miller in a 12-team points? I would not be bothering with Jordan Miller, so sure, go for it. What am I wearing? It's a Maison Kitsune shirt. Someone asked about it before. There's the little Fox logo. Did I speak about Ivy's role in Chicago? I did, but I'll do it again. I think he's going to start eventually. I think he'll play 30-ish minutes. But I also think that I've seen Jaden Ivey play and get 30 minutes a night, and it's pretty mid. I don't mind to see if they want to give him an opportunity, which they might, to see what he can do. There's a chance he could take just all of Kobe White's stuff. So I don't mind an ad of Jaden Ivey. Is Don Barlow an ad? Not really. No. Like, you saw the big game the other day. It came off 11 offensive rebounds, not a real number. And then the next game he did nothing, and he's started 34 games this season and averaged 8-4 or something, 8-5. So no, not really. Deep league, sure. Charles Bassey's getting another 10-day. There you go. All the big news coming through now. Yeah, Josh Minott has played 5 games since December the 26th. For those of you worrying about where all these minutes are going to go. Is Jalen Smith the only clear must-add? I think that's fair. I would probably throw Ivy in there. I'm going to do, after all this and everything is settled and I've gone through and done all the projection updates, I will do a show. Later, we're not doing a regular recap show today. I will do a show. I'm not doing a preview show for Friday either. There's too much stuff going on. I've got a lot of stuff to go through. But we'll do a show going through and fully recapping the trade deadline. That'll be my day today. Is Poole still a drop with Alvarado gone? Yeah, I think so. He'll get his 20 minutes off the bench that Alvarado was getting, and that's not enough. Have I met NBA players for? Yeah, yes, I have. Is Aaron Wiggins an ad? Look, not really. Short term, sure. But also, no. He was very good yesterday, but don't buy into that. Yesterday, Hartenstein, Chet, Jalen Williams, AJ Mitchell, Alex Caruso, all out. Add Jared McCain into that mix as well. So Wiggins is going to be a 20-minute-a-night player, most likely. So, no. Keep Cardwell with Sabonis staying? Yeah, I think you do keep Dylan Cardwell at this point. Yes. Is there a worry of Siakam sitting down? Yes, I would be worried about that. I would be very worried about that. Will Riley is an ad for deeper leagues. Jalen Green should be on a roster, yes. Wow, what is this? Okay, Elvin's Baylor 57. Are you a Frenzel Rom fan? This is really interesting. All right, so nothing's happening. My son just turned 18 a few months ago. He's played guitar all his life, but he's sort of over the last, 4 months or so, just really getting into playing his guitar again. He's collecting guitars. He's got my old guitars. He's resurfacing them, all this sort of stuff. And he's getting into all this old music. His favorite bands is Smashing Pumpkins, it's Metallica. It's all something. Then I'm trying to tell him bands from when I was growing up. And I was there's this weird period in Australia where there's all these bunch of Australian bands who came up. And I mentioned Frenzel Rom, like out of nowhere. I haven't thought of Frenzel Rom in a million years. And then out of nowhere, just was talking about Frenzel Rom and Body Jar, Regurgitator, Grinspoon yesterday to him. So that is just an unbelievably random question. Drew Holiday, rest of season projection. Not overly different to what we've seen the early part of the season. Top 100 guy minimum, probably top 70. Scoot, maybe a marginal impact, but also not really. Is Hero's injury going to magically heal after the trade deadline? Or it will just heal when the timeline is there? I'm not a conspiracy guy like this. At all. What are my thoughts on Herter? He's got red hair. He will be a bench player in Detroit, and you will not need to mess with him outside of very deep leagues. Is Cam Thomas a drop regardless of a trade? Well, I can't say that. How can you say that? That's why half the time, if I appear that I'm being rude, abrasive, whatever, I want to make sure that things become understood and lessons are learned. Irrespective of trade. Okay. What? What if Cam Thomas is traded to a team that say, we think he's a piece of our future as our 30-minute a night starting guard? Obviously, he wouldn't be a drop. Don't make blanket statements like that. If Cam Thomas remains on the Nets, he's a very clear drop. He's been a drop for weeks. But you guys have to be able to... Fuck, what the hell? Ivica Zubac to Indiana. Now that... What on earth? Now you can drop J Huff. Wow. I would be not massively into Brook Lopez. I would be Yannick Konan Niederhausering. What is going on in the Clippers? What this is insane, clearly. I would be a little worried about how much Zubac plays down the stretch as well. I need to see what the return is here, because that's crazy. That's a little weird. All right. That's a little weird. What is going on with that? All right, let's... okay. Why are they doing that? I don't know. But we don't have to worry about... We don't have to worry about Huff. I think YKN is the guy. And you can drop Huff. You can not worry about any of that. I'm just waiting. I think this is going to be multiple firsts, isn't it? I don't really get... So what are the Clippers doing here? Trading away Harden. Trading away Zubac. Are they about to get, massively dicked with this Kawhi thing? Do they know? I would be a little worried about that. This is a very strange trade on the surface. Very strange trade. It's great for the Pacers next season. I don't think it does a huge amount for John Collins, to be honest. I don't know he's going to play much center. Yeah. It's pretty weird. I don't know what chat is thinking about with this at the moment. Bro, read the chat. Yeah, I did. I don't need to read the chat. I've told you about Zubac a million times. Yeah, I think I would add Konan Niederhauser over Brook Lopez, and because it's more of a flyer. This is signaling something. I don't really know what though. Kawhi can get traded, yeah. Whether he does or not, I don't know. Is it bad for Zubac? Yeah, it is. It is bad because how much is he going to play? Yeah. I would be... It's a really strange... Like, really strange. We have got 45 minutes to go in this trade deadline. That is incredibly weird. I'm just trying to wrap my head around that because this is one that obviously just creates an impact. Everyone who's reported this Zubac trade, it was Jake Fisher, Chris Haynes, and Shams. They have no comment on what else is going back. I'm going to say it's a couple of firsts, to be honest. He's going to get lost in the Pacers center rotation. No, he absolutely is not. Not even close to it. Not remotely close to getting lost in that rotation. The problem you're going to have is injuries, and rests. So I'm just waiting. I might as well just do an updated graphic at this stage until we figure it out. But that is... I saw it floated yesterday. Well, it doesn't really make a lot of sense. Little did I know. If YKN starts, do you expect similar to Kalkbrenner production? Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad. Guess. I'm just trying to... 2 first-round picks. But no mention of any players or... Yeah, any players, because there's got to be salary going back, which we haven't got yet. I would be very worried here. There's got to be more happening with this. Certain there is. Just trying to process this information that's coming through. I would add Konan Niederhauser over Lopez. I can get adding Lopez, but like we've also seen Lopez start some games this season. He had one good game and he's actually pretty washed. So I'll put up what we know at this point. That's actually a big deal, isn't it, that one? I just want to see what else is happening. That is a big deal. I would be incredibly concerned. Like with guys like Dunn and Kawhi, obviously. John Collins. What if a center goes the other way? That'll be something to watch, won't it? Will they get a center back? But that's what we don't know. We're waiting. We're hoping to get information here. Something has to go back. Like if it's Micah Potter, it doesn't matter. If it's Isaiah Jackson, interesting. If it's Jay Huff, interesting. But Huff's like 29. I don't know, man. That's a tough one. That's a tough one for me to figure that out. We just got to wait until we get more info. Bennedict Mathurin. Oh, wow. Now, he's bad. Don't get me wrong. But that kills your Jordan Millers and the like. Bennedict Mathurin. And 2 firsts. Mathurin, will he be a pickup? Garland, Mathurin, Kawhi. I don't mind taking a flyer in, but also remember, he was playing for the Pacers, who are bad, who have worse players, and he wasn't good anyway. But He's interesting. Yeah, that is... Well, it's definitely something that happened, isn't it? Ben Mathurin. I think if Mathurin is available, which he probably isn't, you do look to grab him. There's more to happen here. Is Quentin Jackson an ad? I don't think so. I think it's going to solidify Walker. You'll get more Cam Jones down the stretch. It'll be a lot of like random stuff. Zubac to the Pacers, yeah. Bro, that's right. That's on the screen. Ben Mathurin. So he's part of the trade. Anyone else going in this deal? That is an interesting trade. George Niang being waived by the Grizzlies, by the way, for someone who asked whether Niang was going to cut into GG Jackson. He is being waived as part of that, getting Eric Gordon. Shams just said Isaiah Jackson's part of the deal too. Okay. That's complicating. It's definitely complicating. Yeah. All right. Isaiah Jackson and significant draft compensation with Ben Mathurin. That's the two firsts. Jackson will... that makes it... What it does is it complicates the Konan Niederhauser stuff. Because Jackson will play. I would also... They have to create roster spots to convert Miller and Sanders. I'd be ready to say goodbye to Brook Lopez. I think they will waive Brook Lopez. That is... Yeah. That's a bit of a brain bender, that one, isn't it? I would add Mathurin if he's available. But again, it is worth noting. So again, these comments will come up. I saw someone on Basketball Monster commented this, that Ben Mathurin is an ultimate tank commander now. He's going to get a lot of run. He was playing for the NBA's worst team. And he wasn't good there. So he was already literally on the worst scenario, worst team possible. And he was bad at it. And yeah, he probably will play over Chris Dunn, but now it's going to impact Jordan Miller and Kobe Sanders, and Jackson's going to have an impact. I think that Jackson's an interesting one. Because he obviously can be good. His last few games have been good, but I don't know, man. It feels like there's way more stuff happening here. What? What? So the Clippers are getting the Pacers pick this year, protected 1-4 and 10-30. And an unprotected 29. What? So if the Pacers get a top 4 pick, they keep it. If it falls to 5, they lose it. They will not want to win another game this season, because if they finish with the worst record in the NBA, they've got a 50% chance of keeping the pick. Now, that 10-30 protection is ridiculous because that doesn't matter. They're not going down that low. But if you finish with the worst record, you've got a 50% chance of picking it 5th. Roughly 50. That is an insane protection. In a draft that is as strong as this. That is an insane protection. I would be incredibly worried about the viability of these other players on the Pacers. The protection makes absolutely no sense. Why is it protected 10 to 30? They are not, bro. They are not going there. Unless that makes no sense. That part, I don't understand this. That is. Zubac is good. And they're obviously gearing up for Halliburton to come back next season and make them good. But they are going to go hard. All right, so at the moment, the Pacers have the third best odds. They have, let me just count this up, 33, a 48% chance of losing the pick at the moment. Insane. That's like actually insane. It could fall as low as 7. But the most likely scenario is it's the 6th pick and they lose it. Oh, Jesus. Kobe Brown also going to the Pacers. Now, Kobe Brown, massive tank commander. He's terrible. I think I'm trying to look at this Clippers roster. So they've got only one. They've got the 3 two-way guys, 13 roster spots. They've got Jackson, Mathurin. Oh no, they're okay roster-wise. Maybe they don't need to waive Lopez. Yeah, that's going to take some figuring out, that one. Should I bother updating that graphic to include Kobe Brown on it? I probably shouldn't. Add Jarris Walker? I believe yes. Can they lose games on purpose without being penalized? Yeah, they will. Is Zubac's cooked now? Unfortunately, yeah, we'd have to be worried about that, yes. Stop screaming, is Giannis shut down? No, he's not. Maybe he is, but he's not. Kobe Brown's useless. Don't worry about that. I think it's going to be... Yeah. So now I'd be a little bit... Given those picks, I'd be a little bit hesitant to drop Huff at this point. I think you're going to have a... Yeah. Jackson and Konan Niederhauser. Obviously, the prize in this pick, right, is... The prize in this trade for the Clippers is the pick. The 2 picks. Jackson and Mathurin, honestly. Jackson's a bit of an afterthought. I would... If I had to choose one, and I'm less bullish on it now, if I had to choose one, I would choose Konan Niederhauser. But... I don't feel good about that. I don't feel good about that. Because Brook is still there. I don't think Brook is going to remain, but I don't know. I think there is more coming for the Clippers because a lot of this does not make sense. It's pretty... It is... The other part that's interesting in this is the Clippers don't have their pick this season. Their pick goes to the Thunder. So, like... What are they doing? Thoughts on Furphy? I think Furphy's an interesting option. Is Jarris Walker over Neesmith? Probably, yeah, honestly. I think yes. Makes no sense for the Clippers to tank. Yeah, no, it doesn't. You're right. It doesn't make any sense for them to tank. Yeah, I think that Lopez is still the best defender. Yeah, but look, he's 39 years old. And he's been nearly every game that Zubac is out, he's been outplayed by Konan Niederhauser anyway. So yeah. What are my thoughts on Scribble's arbitration? I haven't seen it. Did he win? Or did the Tigers win? I hope he won. It'd be so funny if he won. Hopefully. I hope he won. That is a crazy trade. Bro. If the Pacers' first rounder falls outside of the 1 to 4, 10 to 30 range, it converts to an unprotected 2031. Bro, what? What the fuck? What is this? That's crazy. I think Furphy is a deeper league ad. I think Furphy's a deeper league ad. Whew, this is going to take a long... Scribble one, bro. So he gets to 30 million. Unbelievable. Let's go. That's so good. They're trading him, surely. After they signed Valdez. That's unbelievable. What about Furphy? Yeah, look... Any chance that Indiana is playing out the season not tanking? No, there's no chance of that. Absolutely none. No chance whatsoever. That is not happening. Is Schroeder a drop in a 16-teamer? It would depend on who you're adding, but maybe. Are the Clippers rebuilding? Yes, but they don't have their pick. That is why it is interesting that they get this pick here. But, wow, that is just a lot of balls in the air, man. The Clippers could tank, they could trade Kawhi, they can rebuild, but their ability to get a pick depends on another team who they just traded a good center to. Whew. Zubac is cooked, yeah. Yeah. I'm very concerned about what the Pacers do here. In fact, he just won't play that much. Walker is must roster. He already had been, I think. Hello! Add Mathurin. Like I said before, Ben Mathurin has already been on the NBA's worst team and done nothing. But, sure, go for it. 49ers Rams at the MCG. I'll probably go to it. Terrible ground to watch the NFL, though. It's too big. That is craziness. It's going to be very much all over the shop here. And I do worry about Zubac, who's had a lot of ankle problems, how much he plays. Man. The Clippers only get this pick if it's pick 5 to 9 in the draft. So the Pacers, the only way that pick gets to 10, for them to have a 1% chance of that pick being 10, they have to get down to the 7th worst record for a 1% chance. The only way there's even a decent chance that it gets to the 10th pick is to get to the 9th seed. Then it's a 25% chance of being picked 10. And they're not. Like, they're on 14 wins. No, they're not. 13 wins. Bro. That is craziness. Add Ben Shepherd. No, he's bad. No, I wouldn't bother with Ben Shepherd. Should I stash Scottie Pippen? Pippen's back next game, I believe. I would probably, if you've got Huff, I would hold. just because I'm a little worried about Zubac's availability. But obviously, if Zubac plays, Huff has no chance of value. None. But I'd be a little concerned about what... You got to think about it from a realistic point of view. Like Indiana, is there any chance of them being good enough to get the 10th pick? Almost no way. Why would they do it? They're also just not good. But why would they do it? The path for them is being the worst team in the NBA. The problem is they've got the 3rd record at the moment. And yeah, like how do we... Wow. Chris Haynes is saying that the Pacers offered the same package to the Jazz for Walker Kessler. Huh. I would have done that for Kessler. I would have done that. Wow, wowee. Bro, that is... I really don't think, all of Huff's value is only gone if Zubac plays. And I don't think that's going to happen. Is Neesmith an ad? I think he was already an ad anyway. But yes. Drop Nurkic for Walker in a 10-teamer? I don't know about that. Even if Zubac plays, I think they're still worst in the league bad. They'd be close to it, but like having a real center who they haven't had is big. I don't think Jarris in a 10 team is a clear ad, no. Will Nembhard be shut down? Eventually, yeah, I think so. Tyus Jones is bad? Yeah, okay. What are we doing? I know we've got another trade happening. Tyus Jones going to Dallas, apparently. Look, he is bad. I would not be bothered adding him. He is bad. Hornets are trading Tyus Jones to the Mavericks for the Malachi Branham. Why? Just opens up a trade exception. Okay. I think that's a nothing trade. Yes, the Mavericks don't have a good point guard, but they just traded for Tyus Jones, so they still don't have a good point guard. Malachi Branham is bad as well. He's not going to play. I'm not adding Tyus Jones. Brandon Williams is better than Tyus Jones. Ryan Nembhard is equivalent to Tyus Jones. Jones gives them some... It also should give you a fairly decent indication that Kyrie is not coming back. I think it just gives them extra depth there. It also probably means they're not converting Nembhard maybe. And they're going to use a spot to convert Cisse. Perhaps, but again, they got Bagley. I don't know. What are they doing with Middleton? Bro, that team makes no sense either. That doesn't make sense either. Nothing there massively stands out to me. All right, so there's the new trade. Tyus Jones to Dallas. I would not bother adding him. Oh no, the Bulls got Nick Richards. You're not adding him. Do not add Nick Richards. But it gives them... Usman Jeng goes to the Bucks. Jeng to the Bucks is marginally interesting, depending on what they decide to do. Nick Richards gives the Bulls... This team, what is wrong with them? So they've got Smith and Collins. They traded for Leonard Miller, and now they bring in Nick Richards. Were they trying to give young guys an opportunity? Or 29-year-old washed-up third-string centers? Why do the Bulls, anytime they make a move that is actually even remotely solid, like trying out Leonard Miller, then they screw it up by bringing in Nick Richards? Bro. Oh, that doesn't make sense. Don't add Nick Richards, for the love of God. Jalen Smith might not be a good player. Nick Richards is way worse. Do not add Jarris Walker in a 10-team points league. Justin Champagny must roster? I don't think so, no. I spent so much money grabbing Jalen Smith off the wire. Yeah, correct move. You cannot be worried about Nick Richards. He is bad. Bro, he is terrible. Don't worry about him. Richards is shocking. He's terrible, guys. Like, please. Is Tyus must roster? Absolutely not. No. He is bad also. Will Mathurin start for the Clippers? I would say yes. Although, maybe they like Chris Dunn's defense. Can I help you pronounce Hugo Gonzalez? Ugonzalez. Yeah, I can. There you go. That's how you do it. Boston Celtics guard for Ugonzalez. Ugonzalez. I got to find that clip and find out how I can play it for you. I think that adding, it's a toss-up to me between Isaiah, I'm going back to the Clipper stuff, Jackson and Niederhauser, Konan Niederhauser. I think it's probably going to end up a wash. Jackson has better per minute production. Whether it works out or not, it's very messy. I would not bother with old mate Nick Richards at all. Don't do anything with Jalen Smith. Don't drop him at all. Oh, God. Yes, you absolutely keep Jalen Smith. Colin Sexton, you do not do anything with him. I assume he's not must roster, no. Will Sabonis be moved? No. Ivy or Simons? Ivy. Will Garland play? Yeah, pretty sure he will. Be very surprised if he didn't. Again, they've got no incentive to not play him. Is Pippen a hold? Yeah, like he's back next game. Then we can see what happens. Brook Lopez or Jarris Walker? I'd take Jarris Walker there every day of the week. Mike, have I thought about doing a Dynasty show each week? Yeah, and I won't do it. I don't have the time or brain power to devote to doing that, so I'm not doing that. Siakam cooked, I'd be very concerned about Pascal Siakam, yeah. Bro, what is this trade with Usman Jeng to the Bucks? Why did Chicago get involved in this? Huh. Everyone's going to ask the question, or do I add Isaiah Jackson or Konan Niederhauser? The answer is we have no idea. If anyone guesses and thinks they know, they don't. Jackson's a better permanent producer than Konan Niederhauser, but I think it's going to be just, and Lopez is still there. It's going to be, think about the Pacers center rotation. It's going to be similar. It's going to be a lot of messiness, I believe. I would go Konan Niederhauser over Lopez, but I would probably try Jackson, but it's either way. He's half a drop. I would hold just for now because I don't know how much Zubac's plays. It would depend on who you're adding, of course. Dylan Harper is nowhere near a must-roster player. No, not close. Not even close. No real must-adds from the deadline. I mean, Jalen Smith, depending on how you want to view him. What time is the deadline? It's in 15 minutes. Najee Marshall or Jarvis Walker? I'll take Najee. Lopez is not must roster, no. Dayron Sharp and Ad? Not really. Like, why? Okay. Bob Carrington? Question mark? Zubac's a drop? Absolutely not. Why would you drop him? DeJounte Murray, how much will he play when he returns? We go to the Pelicans starting 5. No idea, and I think it's... I don't even know if he's going to return, to be honest. I know they claim he might, but I'm not sure I believe that. I don't think Claxton will be traded, no. Clowney is not must roster, no. Guess it's safe to move on from Malik Monk. Maybe wait for the deadline. What can we expect from John Collins now that Zubac is gone? I'm not sure that it really impacts him. Zubac is not a usage player, so no extra usage to go to Collins. Collins, they've got 3 centers now, so he's not going to play any center minutes. They look to be pivoting to a different direction. I don't know that much changes, honestly. You can make the comment that the centers they have now are worse than Zubac, which is true, but that doesn't mean that Collins gets more shots or plays more minutes or anything like that. It doesn't mean any of those things. Leonard will be traded? Don't think so. Maybe. Really doubt it, though. Also, again, Morant not being traded. Giannis not being traded at this point. Just checking if there's anything coming through here. There is nothing. All right, so people are I know they're going to go, give me your must-adds at the end of this show. I'm not going to do that. And here's why. I don't like to just spout shit off the cuff that often. What I'm going to do is I will go through, I'll end this show. We've talked a lot about things on here. I will go through and make all my projection adjustments for the members at Basketball Monster. We'll do all that, and I will come back with a show that is rational, thought out, and backed by data and information. I don't want to come in and tell you, this is the list of guys, because I can't process that in that sort of time frame. We've talked about the guys that have appeared here. Like, the only real options to look at, I think, like if Mathurin was dropped, add him. You can try Jackson or Konan Niederhauser. Which one you do? I think it's a toss-up. I'd probably lean Jackson marginally, but I think they're both marginally useful. I'm not adding Tyus Jones. I'm not adding Nick Richards. Also, again, before everyone here gets all excited about Ty Jerome, like Morant not moving, Jerome not moving, all these guys are still around in Memphis. It's going to be really weird. That was a wild little trade there. with so many implications. Yeah, putting 35,000 question marks is not going to get me to answer your question. Drop Siakam? No, guys, are you trying to piss me off? Why would you do that? I'm so... whoever you are, your name, whatever your name is, don't need to read it out. But is there something wrong with you? Why on earth would you do that? Oh, he's a top 30 player. I'll just drop him because I imagine something might happen in 4 weeks. Please be logical with anything that you do. If you're making a decision on dropping somebody, you know what? Go take a cold shower, come back to it a day later. Just that insane stuff. Bro. Good morning from Franger. How's it going down there, mate? When do I think Giddy will be back? I would guess pretty soon. I'd say maybe it's post All-Star, maybe. Which is like a week away. Does Ja get sat? Well, he's currently injured anyway. Again, there is risk with a lot of these things, but it gets overblown in nearly every situation. There's going to be a lot of frustrating scenarios, absolutely, but it's pretty frustrating. It's just not going to be... A lot of people think that you come out of the All-Star game and players just don't play. That is not going to happen. Did I account for Kidd's recent comments on Kyrie? Assessment? Yeah, Jason Kidd doesn't know what he's talking about in many things. I don't believe Kyrie is coming back. But also what Jason Kidd said didn't actually say anything. It gave you no update whatsoever. At all. Giannis sitting rest of the season according to Windhorse. Then there was a report today saying the exact opposite to, I think, Eric Name of The Athletic. So, yeah, I'm going to not do anything like that. Bye-bye, Kal-El. Probably. Maybe just wait 7 more minutes. Or, yeah, maybe 10, 12. Oh, God. A weird deadline that just got spiced up by an absolute bomb. I really want to find how I can play you that Uganda pronunciation guide. All right. Let me... I'm going to figure out if I can get it to play. Now, please let me know whether you can hear this. Ready for the... I'll play the Joe Mazzulla one first.
Joe Mazzulla?
Did you hear the Joe Mazzulla one? Who heard the Joe Mazzulla clip? Did it work?
Joe Mazzulla?
I'm waiting for chat to respond to me here. You guys sometimes have the weirdest, oh man, Kawhi will be back for the Spurs. It's just not going to happen, guys. Did you hear the Joe Mazzulla one? Yes. All right. So, are you ready for the brilliance of the Ugo Gonzalez pronunciation guide? Here we go.
Oanfallet. 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 Oanfallet.
Bro. Really? What is that? Oh, yeah. There we go. Let me bump the sound up. Let's try it again. Ugo Gonzalez.
Oanfallet. Oanfallet. Oanfallet.
There you go. There's the famed Urandad sound. He really cleared up how to pronounce his name in that one for us. For those wondering, the Los Angeles Clippers aren't moving Kawhi Leonard. There you go. I really don't get what they're doing. We've got 4 minutes to go. What do I think about pickleball? I don't play it. I think it's relatively pointless as a sport. I don't really get the purpose of it, to be honest. It's a very unk sport. Ulanzal. Who would be the Clippers' first center? Good question, bro. We're trying to figure that out. We don't know, and I think it's going to be sort of mixed around a lot. Someone said it's the Mike Tyson pronunciation. Mike Tyson. It is the Spanish pronunciation, obviously, but like, you gotta at least like roll it out together, or at least spread something out. Five minutes to go, less than that. 3 minutes to go. Sometimes trades will roll in, but I don't think anything's gonna happen. I would be stunned if anything massive or major happens here. So after this show ends, I will go to work posting an audio version of it, but also just doing my projections, and then we'll come back a couple of hours with another big show. How is Ivy a 12-team ad when they have Giddey, Trey Jones, Simon, Sexton in the way? The Bulls would prefer Simon's floor space. No, they prefer Ivy. The reporting out of Chicago is they want Ivy to be the guy. Simons is an expiring contract. Sexton is an expiring contract. They want Ivy to be the guy. Now, Ivy is bad. Don't get me wrong. But they believe in Ivy. For whatever reason, they believe in Jaden Ivey. They want to see what Jaden Ivey can do. Not Simons, not Sexton, not Jones. Do I agree with them? I don't agree with anything they do. But that is the thing. Jalen Smith or Nick Richards to start. Nick Richards is terrible. Terrible. I think Jalen Smith will start. Smith's not that much better. He's not good, but no, it'll be Smith. I'm fairly sure. We're getting there, guys. A couple of minutes left. Tyus Jones starts now. Over who? I just have that question. Over who? Cooper Flagg? Max Christie, Najee Marshall, PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford? No. He's bad, Tyus Jones. He lost his spot in Orlando to Jace Richardson. He's bad. What does it mean for Kawhi? It means that I'd be worried about full availability for Kawhi. The big things from today are going to be bump for Jarris Walker and Aaron Nesmith. Maybe Konan Niederhauser and Isaiah Jackson, although that is very messy. And honestly, there's not much else. I thought Leonard Miller would do something for deeper leagues, but now Nick Richards is around. I don't know about that. I don't think that, if you hope that Bones Highland would be good, he won't be. Josh Minot, no real chance there. No Michael Porter getting traded, by the way. These are all ones that might start to cook in March. I think that is the official deadline now. We'll see if anything comes through. I think we might be done. But overall, Jalen Smith is the biggest winner. I think Dosunmu loses out. I think Jaden Ivey is a winner because he goes from playing 12 minutes a night to probably starting. Although there are, like the old mate just mentioned, there are other names there who will get playing time, but I think they want to prioritize Ivy. But it is worth noting, Giannis, not traded. Demetrius Morant, not traded. Now, again, that is now the 4 point guards in Memphis. Spencer, Jerome, Morant, Pippen. We will see. I did not believe that Morant would get traded. Everyone seemed convinced of that. I was not that convinced of it. Nothing else. We'll give it a few more minutes as I'll peruse the chat. Adam, do you get the point of it? You hold moves in case. And now, with all these players moving around, you have stream value for the final 4 days of the week. That is why you save the moves. Not to get a piss stream on Monday, Tuesday. You are better to be in a situation where you have and don't use, because it's not like you cannot use the moves. You use them now. You use your moves now. Versus you use them to stream Monday, Tuesday, and you got one move left, and then there were 3 guys you wanted to add and you can't do it. Plus the big boost streams you get for guys changing teams. That is the point of it. Gigi Jackson floor is up. Is it? Is it? Why though? Because Nyang got waived. Nyang was injured, wasn't going to play anyway. I didn't think anyway. Boring trade deadline. No, bro. How many guys do you want to get moved? Got Anthony Davis got moved. Harden got moved. Garland got moved. Porzingis got moved. Kuminga got moved. Zubac got moved. What more do you want? I really don't know what more else we need to happen. Vooch got moved. The GOAT. Tyus Jones, again, people have an idea that Tyus Jones is good. He's not. He's been overrated for a very long time. But who would he start over? Cooper Flagg is their point guard. Najee Marshall, Max Christie, PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford. No. Make a betting channel. Well, I don't bet, so why would I do that? Will Porzingis play tonight? I'd be incredibly shocked if that happened. Ivy or Jarris Walker? That's a good question. It's probably Ivy, but that's not. Yeah. Is Tyler Hero cooked? I don't think so. Guy Santos or Aaron Neesmith? That's a good question. I think it's. That is tough, actually. I think it's Neesmith, but yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. You know what I haven't even looked at? This expert advises not to use pickups and then nothing happened. Are you dumb? You sound dumb. You sound dumb. Also, I have never once referred to myself as an expert. But you sound dumb. Shout out for being dumb. Hey, all the dummies out there. Shout out to you guys. Drop Bilal for Jaden Ivey. I don't mind that. I don't mind that decision. Pippen or Jerome points league when healthy. Ty Jerome, much better points league player than Scott Pippen. Mark Williams value up. Guys, part of what I do on this channel, I try to be funny, entertaining, aggressive, bombastic, whatever you want to say, right? Provide information, stats, numbers, backing it up. But I also want to teach you guys things that are pretty straightforward. Does Mark Williams' value go up? Yeah, he's going to take all of Nick Richards' minutes. He's taking all of Nick Richards' minutes. 0. Literally nothing changes for Mark Williams. Nothing. Nick Richards played 0 minutes. Why am I so angry? I'm not angry at all. I don't think you understand what angry is. This is not angry at all. Drop Monk for Ivy. I'd be very concerned about what Monk is doing. Chris Boucher to be waived by the Jazz. Yeah, because he's bad. He's been washed for years. People always want something to happen with him, but no. That's not a tough decision at all to have waived him. Is Ware a safe drop? I'm pretty sure yes. You're not going to... You won't see me angry because I'll be screaming. It's not a fun thing to look at. Drop Mark Williams to stream. No. What? Why? Anyway, to each their own. Does Young play this year? Yeah, under 5 games is my guess. Tyus Jones is an ad. Kid is unpredictable. Yeah, he is, but I can predict that Jones is bad. Jones started last season. Jones has started games this season. It's at best completely mid. At best. Drop Ware for Santos. What a crazy statement that is. And I'm not saying it's wrong. Because where is a 16-minute night backup? You're waiting for a Bam injury. I'd be hesitant to do it because of how high the upside can be, but the pathway to get in there is so small, man. It's so small. The Nets are waiving Cam Thomas. Wow-wee. Don't add Cam Thomas. He is also bad. But like I've said all along, right? The Nets hate him. He hates the Nets. He's been a drop for months, and move on. Do not bother adding him. We see what happens, but he is bad. He is just literally bad. Bro. Free Cam Thomas. No, he is free. He's free. He's free to go choose a team because he's bad. Bad. He was also free last offseason to sign a contract with any team. And he didn't because he is bad. How many guards waived? A lot. I think Conley also might get waived. He might not, though. But he might. Prediction on when Ty Jerome gets more than 20 minutes. I think that when Jerome gets past his minutes restriction will be when Pippen and Morant are back anyway. So he might not ever get there. I think he's more of a 23-minute-a-night guy anyway. Add Yegor Dioman. Dioman wasn't limited by Cam Thomas being there. Dioman was limited by being Dioman. So I don't think that changes much there. What it does do is it puts probably Terrence Mann back into the rotation and helps Saraf and Traore. Does Thomas being waived impact Sharp? Not in the slightest. Is Gershon Yabusele a 14-team points league ad? I'd rather add neither of those guys. Not interested at all, any of them. Is Zaire Williams now? Now that is interesting. If Zaire can get 27 a night, which he might, I don't think we do it just yet, but that is interesting. I think that is interesting. I'm just going to keep an eye. Yeah, the Kings. They held on to Sabonis, Levine, DeRozan, and Monk. Who do they think they are? The Bulls. Yeah, I don't know. Jordan Poole. I don't think so, no. The Clippers are not tanking. They have no point in tanking. Will Riley or Champagny have more value in a points league? How does Koulibaly measure up to them? Stop answering stupid questions. I'm going to move on from that one as well. Will Riley or Champagny? Champagny, to me, is a better player without any question. But that doesn't really matter for the Wizards. At the moment, what they want to do is their first round pick that they traded for, Will Riley, they want to see what he can do. So honestly, as much as I think Champagny is a better player, the Wizards don't want better players. They want to lose and they want to see what their young guys can do. So as controversial as it might feel, and I was big into stashing Champagny, I actually think it might be Riley. It might be Riley. Am I frozen? I don't think so. GG Jackson or Ivy? It's interesting. It might be GG. The Blazers now have to waive or buy out 2 guys to keep Caleb Love and Sidi Sissoko. Yep, because they're on their 2-ways and their numbers are expiring. It's amazing how many players on 2-way contracts become better than the guys who are on full-time contracts. Many such cases. It happens a lot. What is happening with Zach Edey? He's hurt, and he may not return this season. Sadiq Bey, okay, must roster an 18 points league. You tell me. What's your scoring? What are your waiver wire guys? What is Bey averaging the last 2 weeks, the last 4 weeks, the last 6 weeks? I find it hard to believe it is a clear must in a league that shallow. Drop Aaron Wiggins for Ivy or Santos? Yeah, I'd drop him for either of those guys without a problem. Is the Filipowski stash dead? The Filipowski stash requires Markkanen and Nurkic and Jaren Jackson not playing. So it's going to make it really tough, I think. So I would say probably yes. Keep Morant or trade him to top 50. If you can get a top 50 player for Ja Morant, you do it literally immediately. Cam Thomas to the Rockets, make it happen. You must not be a Rockets fan then. Drop Ayton for Diabate. I think it's close. I wouldn't bother with that. Is Kennard a starter? Nope. I don't think so. I don't think so. I just want to check some of the numbers here. Good numbers. I might have to get out of here now because I got to go prepare stuff to come back and do a full, proper, structured recap show. The Jerome bias is hilarious. Guys, what's the bias? Tell me what the bias is. If you can explain what my bias against Ty Jerome is, I'd love to know. Is it the fact that he's 29 years of age and the fact that I bring up the point that there are literally 3 other point guards on the roster and he has had multiple lower body injuries and has never been a good starting level player ever, nor will he continue to be a 70% true shooting guy on 34 usage with double his career assist rate? If that's biased, then sure, I'm biased. Or it's pointing out reality so you don't jerk yourself off over a guy who's probably not going to maintain even 50% of his value. That's not biased. It's not. I've got nothing against Milk at all. There's just a bunch of realities to situations like this. You know, I've had these fights and arguments with people before. Nick Richards, Cam Thomas, Bol. There's realities about how all this stuff fits in. But yeah, I'm biased against Ty Jerome. It's true. Hate him. Hate the bloke. This dude always falls for rage bait. Fell for yours, mate. Or it's entertainment. Josh Minor is not an ad in a 12-team points league. I don't know what you would have to be doing to do that. Sharp is too good per 36. Unless your league is a per 36 league, I'm not sure what that's going to do for you. Would I drop Neesmith or Melton for Sharp or don't bother? Daron Sharp is good. The last 2 games have been very interesting. I don't mind taking a flyer on that. That's totally okay. Like Melton, I like Melton. I like Neesmith. Is there upside that high? Not really. Like it's okay, but like if you want to do it, but you need them to get to a spot where they're splitting minutes, and they're not doing that. The last 2 games they are. Will that mean that they get there? I don't know, but I don't mind doing it. All right, I'm just going to scroll through. Just finally, does the Nick Richards trade indicate the Suns trust Mark? No, it doesn't. Nick Richards wasn't playing. It doesn't do anything like that. These are tax-related moves. I think we got to get out of here. Which, it's been a long stream. I'm going to go do work and then come back with another show. Hope you guys enjoyed the deadline. Don't be bent out of shape that it wasn't as exciting as you wanted. You always have to factor in that players that you think are going to get traded are not going to get traded. Morant, Giannis, Kawhi for some reason. You have to realize that these things aren't going to happen for most of the time. And banking your decisions on a lot of these things, not good. It's also why I'm not a big trade deadline stash guy. Not good. Doesn't pan out enough. You hold on to your moves, JIC, and now you add guys, or you stream through on these next 3 days when there is maximum chaos with 8-man active rosters. Thumb up the video, share it, bang it, comment it. Guys, we're done here. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. I'll be back soon, couple of hours.